Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show you're currently watching right now, this very minute, because no one else is doing it. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the top 5 all-around park boards for 2022-2023. These are the boards that I feel are just sort of well-balanced to just ride the whole park and do everything. They don't excel at just hitting jumps. They don't excel at just hitting jibs. And you can still even go ride the stunt ditch or YouTube if you feel like it. Number 5, the Capita Indoor Survival. That's right. I fooled you. You thought it was going to be the DOA. It's not. It's the Indoor Survival. This thing kind of sits below the DOA, the Super DOA in boards in Capita's line, but the camber profile is super solid. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to be able to give you enough snap and pop for jumps or getting up on a rail. It's got some sweet spots in the tip and the tail that really do lock into presses. It kind of feels like a more old school park board. So if you're one of those guys that grew up riding camber back in the day or you want that feel, this is very, very close to it. Number 4, the Yes Jackpot Camber, middle of the road flex. You like pop, you like snap, you know how to load camber, you're gonna be good. Those sweet spots lock in. This board's just a blast for ripping around, making the mountain your little skate park, or just dominating the park. You can hit a jump, you can ride this half pipe, slay it on a jib, and you never really have to worry about it. It's soft where it needs to be, stiff where you want it to be, with ample spring. Number 3, the Solomon Huck knife. It got an overhaul this year, so they actually took the carbon array out of the Assassin and shoved it in there, so you get more snap out of this board. The one spot where it really does lack is the side cut. I feel like it just doesn't grip as well as others on this list, but that pop is absolutely superb, and it's got a smaller sweet spot in the tip and the tail, which does allow it to lock into presses, but you're going to end up having to put a little more effort into it. Basically, if you like going bigger, doing things where you're gapping onto rails or just hitting a bigger jump, this is more your cup of tea. Number 2, the Public Disorder. Joe Sexton's Pro Model. This feels like the quintessential early 2000s cambered park board. It's got that snap and response to traditional camber. It has a little bit of fight when you press into it, so you're gonna get more spring out of your jibs, but it never makes you feel like you're working twice as hard as you need to for it. The side cut's good for just setting up a turn to go into a feature. You can pop off a jump, ride the stunt ditch, jib a rail, butter, bonk off of a family of fat skiers. It doesn't really matter with it. Honorable mentions, all great options, but just barely didn't make it on this list. The GNU Headspace. You like asymmetrical side cuts, something that's going to be a little bit more of a damp ride just due to the construction methods that GNU uses, as well as a C3 camber profile, which gives you a bigger flat spot in the tip and the tail to lock into presses. Here you go. The Ride Zero. Unisex. For they, thems, and everything over there. Basically, it's cam rocker, asymmetrical side cut. You'd look at it, you wouldn't know that it has an asymmetrical side cut, but it does, which does help out for heel side setup turns. You got a cam rocker profile, so it's gonna allow you to leverage that camber and press into that rocker to really let it lock in. And finally, the Arbor Westmark. Your choice, camber or rocker. Either or, both super solid choices. Anyways, as I said, these were the honorable mentions, great boards, but just barely didn't crack the top 5 of this list. And the number 1 all-around park board for 2023 is the Rome Party Mod. I mean, I own one. I'm a little bit biased, I'm not gonna lie. Flat to rocker profile, but still has snap. It's just more skate-like just due to that profile. You got those rods in the tip and the tail, so when they activate, when you snap them down, they rebound. You get a ton of pop. It allows you to set up a little bit later for when you're snapping off something. Not gonna be the best at super big jumps, but that's fine. Most of you probably won't hit anything over 30 feet in your life. And you'll try to tell me it's a 60-foot jump because you don't know how to measure a jump. Anyways, it's good on jibs, it's good on bonks, it's good at jumps. Little lacking in the half pipe department just due to that camber profile. Mini pipe, solid. Super pipe, probably gonna die. And it's, well, my number 1 choice. This has been my top 5 all-around park boards for 2022-2023. Now, they might not be the best at big jumps or half pipe or rails, but they're just well balanced enough that you can have a fun day in the terrain park. Do you agree with this list? Do you disagree with this list? Leave me a comment down below if you bought anything from this list. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here, you want to support us a little bit further to do some cool projects, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.